Deities and Demigods, the Cyclopedia of Gods and Heroes from Myth and Legend. Love this cover, the background. This was just so much fun. I got this book very early in my D&D career. I don't remember if I got it in late 80 or very early 81, but I know I had it by early 81. I started playing D&D, as I said, 45 years ago in April of 80. So here we go. Copyright 1980 TSR Games, edited by Lawrence Schick, by James Ward and Robert Kuntz. And what I like, what I'm going to take a look at today, is early in it. And here we are. The build-up, or the all the way up to 25 of all the stats. This was the section that we really used this book for early, and this was kind of our Sears wish book around Christmas time. Anybody old enough to remember the Sears catalog or JCPenney catalog? You would get it as a kid. Your parents would get it, obviously, and you would go through it, go to the toy section, and pick out all the stuff that would be wonderful to have for Christmas. Well, here it is, the D&D version of the Sears catalog. I remember reading this section and just drooling over the possibilities of a 25 strength or 25 dexterity and just how much fun that could be. It was just a lot of enjoyable time spent looking over what could be for player characters. Now, D&D, an 18 is tremendous for a normal human. You have an 18 in any stat, you're just completely exceptional. And now we're getting into God territory. But this was good because it also expanded what the player's handbook had to say. For instance, elves could have a 19 dexterity. If they had an actual 18 on their roll in dexterity and then added 1 for being an elf, they would be at a 19. We didn't have the stats for a 19 dexterity. So here they are for your wisdom. Now, the wisdom spell bonuses go all the way up to 25. We use these also for intelligence. So if somehow a magic user gets an intelligence of 19, they get an additional plus 4 or 4th level spell and an additional 1st level spell. We do not use the spell immunities based on wisdom. I never liked that. I don't like the idea that you're so wise that you can't be hit by a geisha or anything like that. So we've never used those. Just as we've never used high intelligence to give you a chance to to be able to see somebody who is invisible. I took that out years ago. We do invisibility as true invisibility, and your intelligence really doesn't enter into it. But just the fun of just sitting here looking at a 19 strength plus 3 plus 7 and going all the way to a 25 strength plus 7 plus 14. That's just insane. That's just tremendous amounts of damage. In the early days, we treated this as a monster manual. You would just take somebody out of here and you'd throw them in there and the players would fight them. And I am going to take a look at that later in this set. A couple of the monsters that I used frequently and a few other ideas that I stole out of this. But for today, we're just going to focus on the elevated stats. So you have your strength up to a 25, intelligence, wisdom, dexterity, constitution, and charisma. Constitution is notable in that it actually gives you regeneration as a natural thing. So if you somehow you had a 20 constitution, you would regain 1 point every 6 turns. So 1 point an hour, you would get 1 point back per hour just for being alive with a 19 constitution, 20 constitution. A 19 is achievable by a dwarf. And then if they got something that gave them a +1, they're at a 20, all of a sudden they're regenerating 1 point per 6 turns. Incidentally, I don't let you reattach limbs or anything with that. It's just that you're an exceptionally hardy individual and you're able to heal faster than others. So charisma, you've got all the reaction bonuses and stuff, and we've done that with the gods when the gods used to appear. And I'm going to make a confession. In my earliest days of D&D, probably the first 2 years or so that I was playing AD&D, which for me started in early 81 probably. Late 80 we went over to AD&D. So late 80 and through 81 and kind of beginning in 82, I was still using this book as kind of a monster manual. And we played some wild and woolly games. We were all teenagers just having fun with the silly game. And we pushed the envelope as far as we could because that's what you do with a game. You get the design, you understand it, and then you push it as far as you possibly can. But these stats really helped in that regard. And then we take a look here in standard divine abilities. This was another thing that I used to drool over. Gary Gygax expanded this greatly in Dragon 67, I think it was. I'll take a look at that sometime down the line, the standard divine abilities. Unless otherwise specified, all gods and demigods have following special abilities. Command is the spell, but lasting 2 rounds for lesser gods, 3 rounds for greater gods. No save versus this divine ability. Comprehend languages as the spell, except the deity also gains the ability to speak or write the language. Detect alignment. The ability enables the deity to detect alignment of objects or creatures with no error. Gate. Deity can only attempt to gate in other beings of the same mythos. So Hercules can only gate in people from the Greek mythos, Thor from Norse. Gaish as the spell, but with a range of 90 feet. Quest is the spell with a range of 90 feet, no saving throw. Teleport. Inherent ability that allows the deity to teleport from place to place or plane to plane with no error. And True Seeing as the spell. Boy, talk about wanting those powers as a player. I didn't do that. I didn't give out standard divine abilities to any of my players. I didn't get any. But this book was all about wishing. All about what you could accomplish if only your character was strong enough and fast enough and smart enough. And that's really what this book did. Is it just expanded D&D for me. Especially because when I first read this, I was just coming off of the original D&D and the basic D&D. So to have all this at your fingertips and all this tremendous detail up to 25th stat placement, it's just inconceivable how good this was and how exciting this was as a player. I did, as I said, take some individuals out of here and use them kind of as monsters. So we're going to take a look at that in one of the next videos I'm going to do. We're going to take a look at probably my favorite of the monsters in the next video. It was one that popped up in my campaign a ton, and I used to use it at that old club I used to belong to. So that'll be for the next video. But that's all I've got today on page 121. I want to thank you for your time. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this. This is just going to be a silly, fun look down memory lane. The earliest days of my DMing and being a player, and the stuff I loved out of this book. But that's it for today on page 121. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. Take a look at the Patreon. Help keep the channel going. And I'll see you next time.